Bill, first of all, congratulations, right, to your McKinsey offer in Greece. How do you feel? How did you get the happy news? So let's elaborate a bit on this, and then let's speak about your journey.
Yes, thank you very much, Jorn. I'm very pleased and excited for this opportunity and the um, extension of an offer. I was experiencing this transition period and preparation through the demanding interviews with
Yeah.
McKinsey for a long, long, long time. So now I'm very pleased that McKinsey has extended an offer to join the Athens office. And yeah, I'm very excited. I haven't realized it yet, to be brutally honest, at the
Yeah.
moment. It is something that uh, is going to change the uh, my life from this point and on. And I'm very, very, very pleased. And thank you very much for all your support all this time through the
Yeah,
program.
it was it
It
was a
was
long,
a
yes.
it was a very long, long process.
Yeah.
And thank you very much.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. It must have been 2012 that you started this, right? At least it feels like this. No, I mean, but it honestly was a long journey, right? And there was a lot of
Yeah.
hesitation at the beginning, right? On if we can
Yes.
really add value, if this is really so different. So what is the methodology in its core? And I don't know if there were many clients where there at the beginning was that much back and forth, right? But I always follow up, right? I never stop believing into
Yeah.
this. Because I mean, you also got an initial feedback that there needs to be some improvements, right? So they gave you also that feedback. They gave you more time here also to prepare, and
Yes.
then it got very clear from the beginning there needs to be a more fundamental change here in how we are doing this, right? So
Yes, yes, that's totally correct. So I began the journey on my own, trying to find resources through the internet and try to read things and freshen up my learnings from my MBA. But going on my first round interview with McKinsey, at first, I understood that this wasn't enough. Okay, and the interviewer and the feedback that I got initially was this specific thing. And then I started thinking things over, and I understood that I needed more help towards understanding the fundamentals. Okay, so it isn't about just learning things. It's um, about learning how to think and how to communicate all your thoughts in a way that a McKinsey consultant, should do. So this is the reason I reached you. We managed to have a talk, an initial meeting, and there is where I understood that I needed this help in order to get through the process of joining a company like McKinsey.
yeah. And it was also astonishing to see the development here, right? Also
Yeah.
from my point of view, because in the initial conversation, right? So there were also some things you defined as a precondition here for yourself and for the story, right? And then we
Yes.
saw you really like breaking through the beliefs you brought initially, all right? And then this was also reinforced by the feedback you received, and it was just like a very
Yes.
positive trajectory. Nonetheless, it was also a long journey, right? So I must
It
say,
was.
I'm also admiring here the persistence that you showcased throughout the last couple of months, right? So
Yes, yes,
that's the right timer here.
and this is the and this is because this is the direction I wanted to follow. So I aimed towards my goal, and I wanted to accomplish that goal by doing the correct things.
Yes.
So through a structured program, a structured way, a guidance,
Yeah.
understanding how to think like a consultant, it was vital for me to succeed through the internet, through the interview process. So I was focused on my goal, and this is the thing I want
Yes.
to say.
And we had that initial discussion where we said, so this is like until we are done, right? Until we are done. To be quite honest, I didn't anticipate it will take that long, right? So to be
Yes,
also fair here from my point of view, but that is what it is. Now, maybe let's also speak a little bit about the journey itself. So what would you consider the biggest learning on the journey on the path here that you had?
yes, yes, definitely understanding the problem solve. Okay, so um, a McKinsey interview is consisted by the PI and the case study. Okay, so talking about the case study, understanding how to think like a consultant and structure your thoughts in a way that is going to solve any problem without memorizing any specific framework is the most vital thing for a consultant to understand, for a potential consultant to understand. It is about you understanding how to think, then structuring your thoughts in a way that is going to solve the problem, and then communicating the solution that you came up with in an efficient way. So understanding, structuring, and communicating are the three things that I fully understood through the program. I
Yeah.
implemented the guidance that I received, and these were enough in order for me to succeed at the end.
Yeah, and that's actually it's very interesting, right? Because most people are not trying to change the perspective on what they will get evaluated on and why this is the case. Because for consultancy, there's so much time in between interviewing someone, interviewing a candidate, and then actually having them on the team, right? So there are weeks and
Yes,
months in between often. And the issue for the evaluation process is that I mean, you couldn't care less about the 30, 50, 70, 120, 500 cases the person has done, right? It's irrelevant because
yes,
ultimately you need to evaluate them based on the problem solving capabilities that they are bringing to solve an unknown problem in the future, right? This is what you need to convince them on. And that means it
yes,
doesn't help if you add another 10 cases or another 10 frameworks or another 10 random resources
yes,
here. You need to work on the skill itself, right?
yes.
And once you have internalized this, then you can also do it in whatsoever situation. So this is what is the ultimate aim of this, the ultimate goal.
Yes, and the element I want to add to this, Jorn, is that the competitive advantage that I gained through the program is that I practiced with peers that understood and have implemented the same thought process that I implement in my problem-solving capabilities. So this is a very important factor for for my success
Yes. And
in the
and thank
interview
you for
process.
yeah, thank you for mentioning this because also with regards to peer practicing, right? It's not about collecting cases with random people. It's about that you do understand what you're practicing
Yes,
for, that you have a common scheme that you can use in order to evaluate each other, that you have the same theoretical foundations, right? So that everyone
yes,
knows what you are aiming for in the case. And then later on, once you're consistent, then you're also can go out and practice with whoever and do mocks with McKinsey consultants, right? Because then you will impress them. But what I tell always people in the program is also, please guys, let's first make sure you're performing consistently, and then you can go out and practice with whoever. Because if you are doing something different, you need to back that up, right? You need to have a good reasoning for this. You need to justify changes in the way how you're approaching a question, because otherwise you're not looking very smart, right? You cannot just say, yeah, I'm doing this different, and now everything is great, right? You need to perform consistently. You need to justify this. And once you're solid, then you go out and then you will impress people, right? So it's that
yes,
way
exactly.
around. And this is also what I saw here. So very, very nice. Um, so maybe in terms of the support infrastructure, what like we spoke about peer practicing already, was this the most helpful part for you? If you would need to name one, was there one specific part in the support or throughout your journey that was especially helpful for you?
So the daily touch points that we actually accessed daily was a factor that we actually solved a lot of questions that we had throughout the preparation. So it
Mm,
wasn't about only the things that I was thinking about, but what other mentees have faced
yeah.
and wanted to be discussed during this session. So this was another factor that actually contributed to my success.
Mm,
The thing that I had a contact immediately and directly with you through a communication platform
yeah.
is was an aid. Okay, so whatever I wanted, I contacted the team and I got a response. So I was constantly uh, aided, and uh, there
Pushed.
were these tools that actually helped me to actually solve any question that I might have.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this was very important.
Yeah, I love it, right? And it's also a question of accountability, right? So, I mean,
Yes,
you had a thing or two to do in parallel. Let's also be very like honest with this, right? So, especially for more experienced hires, it is impossible to focus solely on the interview preparation. It's just different compared to people that are in between jobs or like graduating and then have nothing to do and can dedicate like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 hours of work to this, right? Um,
yeah.
so that's just a different thing. So here, it's always a mix in between pushing someone, also from a mentor perspective, right, and also giving them the freedom to focus on something else, to then come back with a full focus on this, right? So that's
Yes.
always the balance we need to strike here, right?
And another thing that I want to add, because as we talked about, this was a long journey. Okay,
Mm.
so during this process, you have your ups and your downs. Okay, so you may start with passion and drive, and you reach to a point that this will start to drop. Okay, so this is something that a mentee should understand. So this journey, it needs to be um, they need to understand that it will have the ups and downs, but you need at the end to stay consistent in order for you to achieve your goal. So
Yes. Yes, and the longer journey, the more ups and downs there are.
yes,
So it's also important to manage your energy, right? And also
yes, definitely.
staying positive on the way, because if there's another postponement of the interviews and then there is something else coming in between, and then there's a certain set of issues that are you're encountering over and over again. I mean, it's very normal, right? So the individual part of this is that's never the same issues, right? So from a mentor perspective, it's so interesting to see. So one person is struggling with a completely different set of things than another, right? So I've never had
Yeah,
an identical development in terms of the characteristics itself. But I had usually all identical developments of the phases that you will need to go through, right? In different
yeah.
intensities. But yeah, so it's very, very nice put here. Okay, so then I mean let's conclude this. So is there any specific advice that you would have for others on the same journey that want to break into top strategy consulting? Anything specific that you would want to share with them?
Yes, definitely. The thing that I want to say is that the one that wants to join a journey like this, entering a top consulting firm like McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, you need to be 100% focused. Okay, so I fully understand a mentee that is researching for guidance, researching for material online, and solving cases and things like this. Okay, so I totally understand, but the thing that I want to communicate here is that this program works 100%. So I was skeptical in the beginning. I was very convinced that I wanted to succeed, so I trusted you. And at the end, I accomplished my goal, which is a very demanding goal. That I'm very pleased and happy to secure an offer by McKinsey at the moment.
I love this, right? And maybe let me also add this like last and final sentence. Some people believe they can just put in the work, right? And some people
Yeah.
believe they can join whatsoever random coaching program and it will magically happen for them. The truth is, you need both, right? You need to have that
Yes.
relentless execution and the full focus on the price while at the same moment in time getting the best calibration you can get. Only this will give you a competitive advantage in that
Yes.
process, right? So you need to combine both. There is no either or. It's either both or you shouldn't do it, right? Because it's a waste of time or money.
Yes,
Good,
definitely.
cool, Bill. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best for the moment. Another great career here coming into existence. And thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you very much, Johan, for your time. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for everything.